Hello, everyone. I am Daniel, joined by.
It's Whitman.
Chris again.
So, today we are going to talk about the perfect summer of 2023 for AEW. So, when it comes down to it, I believe that this could be the biggest summer in AEW history if done right. And I have three cards that will attract fans that are casual, that are hardcore, that are many. I'm trying to find the right words here, but the point is it is going to be three shows, three events that can be for a lot of wrestling fans. I guarantee that. And again, this is all fantasy booking. So CM Punk will be used, Kota Ibushi will be used, other names will be used, and they may or may not happen. It is not guaranteed, but I do believe that it is all very possible, which is why I booked all these things to happen. So, without further ado, let's begin. For the buy-in matches, I'll just be saying them. As for the main show matches, I'll be going more in depth with them along with Berman and Chris. So, for the Forbidden Door 2, let's start with that show out of the three. Because there's Forbidden Door 2 in Canada, there is All in the UK, and 1 week later, there'll be All Out in Chicago, which that in itself, doing two pay-per-views back-to-back weeks for both $50 each, that's a risk. And you have to make sure that you're booking top-notch cards with that kind of shit. So let's get into it. Forbidden Door. I have three matches on the 1 hour buy-in. And I treat the buy-ins with respect. I put must-see matches on the buy-in. That's the way I roll. If you are too poor to afford a $50 pay-per-view, I at least want to treat you to some wrestling action. And that's how I see it. That's my philosophy on it. So, the buy-in. ROH Women's Championship. Athena defends against Stardom's Azumi. And I probably butchered that, but I think I got it right. I would Azumi, whatever. Now, she is one of the best wrestlers to offer from Stardom, and I just started watching Stardom a few months ago, and I'm starting to learn the new names and stuff, and there's a lot of talent there. But I believe she's among the best in that company as the high-speed champion currently. And Athena is one of the best in the company AEW ROH, the branch. She's doing her thing. So I figure you could put those two in the same ring and they would kill it. Now, six-man tag, the Acclaimed versus TMDK. I feel like TMDK are, more of a serious group in some ways, whereas the Acclaimed are more comedic. But I feel like if you put TMDK with the Acclaimed, they could put on a nice little comedy six-man tag. And yes, you give Daddy Ass the pin. You give Daddy Ass the pin. Now, the final match on the buy-in. The ROH TV Championship. And, it's Forbidden Door, AEW X New Japan Pro Wrestling, but why not feature some ROH stuff because you can and make it kind of a triple crossover in some senses. Not entirely, but in some senses. So, Samoa Joe defends against the Young Lion, Ren Narita. And Ren could give him a good fight, but Joe would still win, of course, because it is the reign of dominance for Joe. So that's the pre-show. Now let's dive into the main show. So, first match, the 8-woman tag team match, Mercedes Moné, Saraya, Toni Storm, and Ruby Soho versus Kairi, Jamie Hayter, Britt Baker, and Thunder Rosa. So what's my story here? Well, there's been the whole Outcast storyline going on, and it's been poor, admittedly, but there are some great talent in that story. So what I would do is I would personally, I don't know what they're doing at Double or Nothing. I don't know who Jamie is fighting at Double or Nothing. Maybe it's going to be Saraya. Maybe it's going to be Tony. Maybe it's going to be Ruby. It's probably going to be someone out of that group. We don't know yet, though. But anyways, Jamie will retain. And I basically have the story continue into this match where the Outcast reached out to Mercedes Moné. And basically, that means Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker had to reach out to other people to get equalizers. Thunder Rosa would return through this story, and Britt and Thunder would still hate each other, but they all would have common enemies, so they would have to work together. Then the other person called up, Kairi. who was the very first IWGP Women's Champion. So I figure this is a great way to have your bit of New Japan Pro Wrestling mixed in with an AEW storyline. And I'd let this match be a match where Mercedes pins Baker to set up an eventual championship match between Mercedes and Jamie. And that would be how it kick off Forbidden Door.
Yeah, I think it sounds interesting, and I think I would like to. I can't wait to see if Mercedes Monet comes there. Same with Kyrie, so it's going to be interesting. He's just going to show them out, and it's a good starting match, I would say. So I think it sounds interesting for me. So, and Mercedes winning, perfectly fine with me too.
I'm okay with this, but you know how I feel about the outcast of a certain member. But as long as she's not like the main focus, if she just stays in the background like she's been doing.
For me, the main focuses of this match are definitely Jamie and Mercedes.
Oh, without a fact, dude. That's all we all really care about the most, to be quite honest.
Because I use this match more or less as a tool to set up their match in a UK stadium. You get where I'm coming from?
Mm-hmm. I gotcha.
So, match number 2, a triple threat trios match between 3 of the most dominant heel staples in the industry, we can argue. House of Black versus 3 members of the Bullet Club, Penta, Chase Owens, and the Bone Soldier. And then the third team, LIJ, Hiromu Takahashi, Shingo Takagi, and Bushi. This would be a dominant match with 3 dominant teams, and you would have the strikers in there like Malachi Black and Kenta, who those guys have had amazing matches back then. And you know they can definitely do some crazy stuff in the ring. You also got Buddy, another striker in there. You got more strikers in there. And then you also got just phenomenal star power in Shingo Takagi and Takahashi from New Japan. And in the end, having House of Black beat arguably the two most dominant staples in New Japan Pro Wrestling history. It will make their trio's title reign feel even stronger.
Yeah, I think that sounds fun. I think the thing that might be the change would be the Bullet Club stuff, because the Bullet Soldier, that's Taichi Ishimori. If anyone does not know, that's his nickname. His real name is Taichi Ishimori. But I think is that I don't know the status with Kevin on Chase Owens, and I don't know if it's just gonna be a one night thing working together. But I heard a lot of things saying that Chase Owens does not like the Bullet Club right now, so it's kind of same thing with Phantasmo.
What about Kenta and Bone Soldier?
Kenta and Bone Soldier are completely with David Finlay, 100%. So there's no doubt in that.
We just need to find a third guy. We just need to find a third guy.
My guess would be Bad Luck Fale.
All right, that works.
He makes sense because he's perfectly fine with the Bullet Club always, but Chase is always iffy right now.
That's fair. I just want a trio from the Bullet Club, and one of those 3, especially being Kenta.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly fine. It makes sense. And the LIJ is perfectly fine. I really like these matches right now, and I think it would be interesting to see, and I'm happy to see House of Black take that victory.
Yeah, I'm with it too. To build up more of the credibility of House of Black, because right now the Bullet Club is in charge of Jay White's kid, right? But I hear nothing but bad things of what they're currently doing, but I haven't seen it personally for myself, but I know people shit on it all the time. So I don't know how accurate it is.
Well, because I've been watching New Japan more constantly.
Mm-hmm.
David Finlay has not been doing that bad. Like his pathology is pretty much, I want to make the Bullet Club more of the evil Bullet Club, where he is no more playing games, is more cheating, it's more low blowing, it's just more of the evil Bullet Club, I would say. But I think he's doing pretty well. I haven't seen a lot of matches recently after the El Phantasmo crap that happened, but I think they're gonna. I think to me, this Bullet Club with David Finlay might be growing into a meaner, interesting character. So I don't know. I'm perfectly fine with it because I like David Finlay and everyone else right now. So I like it so far. So maybe just gotta understand how the Bullet Club works right now.
Gotcha. Just want to clarify that little thing, but I'm okay with House of Black taking it.
All right. Now we move on to the next match. the Owen Hart Cup Finals for the women. Jade Cargill versus Chris Statlander. So here's my story. You have Taya beat Jade's streak at Double or Nothing. Jade gets angry, and in her vengeance, she's going after the Owen Hart Cup. She makes it all the way to the finals, but the other person who makes it all the way to the finals is the very person who has unfinished business with her, Chris Statlander. And you go to the finals, you do this match, make it only a few minutes, a quick dominant effort from Chris Statlander. And this, where does Chris go from there? A bigger push. That is it.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that. Everyone hates Jade Cargill. We always talk shit about her, and it's completely true. We want to see Chris Lander take that title and make it way better than right now. And Chris Lander deserves that, I would say, too. So, 100% with this.
I'm 100% okay with this too. Hopefully, Jade Cargill goes away, goes back to training camp, and learns how to fucking wrestle.
Now, match 4, Owen Hart Cup Finals for the men. Jay White versus David Finlay. These two have unfinished business since David betrayed Jay and basically took away his group, and now they're two separate groups. I figure, why not finish that business through the Owen Hart Cup? And, you could have, because think about it, they're both leaders who want to basically take over anything they can. That is the best way to describe both Jay White and David Finlay. So both of them wanting the Owen Hart Cup makes sense. And the winner of it would be Jay White. So the first year's winner was Adam Cole and Britt Baker. Year 2 would be Jay White and Chris Statlander.
Yeah, I think I'm perfectly fine with that. Everyone knows, if anyone knows me, I'm probably one of the biggest fans of Jay White, but I am really close to same thing with David Finlay right now because I really like him. This match will be really pretty fun, and I think there's going to be a lot of interferences from the other pieces of the Bullet Club. I really do expect it. So that'd be fun. I think I can't wait to see this and Bullet Club. And I think Jay White will 100% win. This would be fun to see. And I'm happy to see him win.
Yeah, same here, and this is also a good way to build credibility. So if you're not too familiar with New Japan, it kind of gets in the casual people to give Jay White more legitimacy than he already has. Have him take the Owen Hart Cup Finals, and I'll be okay with it. And David Finlay will be all right. He can recover from this. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah, he took that L to Sonata, and he seems like he's fine.
He about to take another L.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. It just has to happen. And hey, if you think about it, didn't Jay White dominate later in his Bullet Club leadership run rather than at first? Just
It's true. Yeah, it's pretty fairly true. And there's something else happening, I think, in Dotingo right now. I think it's setting up to David Finlay versus Tamatanga for the Never Open right now. So it's possible that he might be going into it with the championship.
Interesting, yeah. Now, match number 5. And another 8-man tag. I have a lot of tags because I want to make this feel like a New Japan style card. I want to have that influence behind it. I don't want it to feel completely like an AEW show. I want it to feel like a bit of both, And I feel like with the way this card is structured, it makes sense. Now, we got 4 rivals of the Blackpool Combat Club. Hangman Adam Page, Eddie Kingston, Shibata, and the man who is clearly going to debut soon in AEW, Kota Ibushi. And if you think I'm BSing, Kota Ibushi himself confirmed that he is in talks with Tony Khan, or is going to be in talks with Tony Khan, right before Double or Nothing. And isn't it interesting that Konosuke kind of joined the Elite out of nowhere? It really makes me think that Konosuke is going to turn heel, be the 5th member in the Anarchy in the Arena for the Blackpool Combat Club. And then it's going to be 5-on-4. Oh no, who are the Elite going to need? Kota Ibushi is who they're going to need. And you continue this feud heading into Double or Nothing. Heading into Forbidden Door. So you got Moxley calling up his good friend from New Japan, Shuta Umino. And he teams up with the Blackpool Combat Club as they go up against Adam Page, Eddie Kingston, Shibata, and Kota Ibushi. So great 8-man tag. And, you can have it go the distance if you want. But in the end, I would have Kota Ibushi getting the pin for the team on Wheeler Yuta. And that's how the baby faces get that W.
Yeah, I really like this match. The Shibata and Kabushi and Saikota is pretty much like a dream to see them in attack with Eddie and Hangman. So it's really great to see that idea too. And I love the Shota because Shota it makes sense to be with him with John Moxley because he's inside the Death Rider Club, which is funny to me, and it's always fun to me to see that Shota is using the Death Rider or like the Dirty Deeds John Moxley's finisher in New Japan. It was really interesting to me to see that. So it makes perfect sense, and we're like, this should be a great match if that is actually really does happen. And I'm happy to see that Kota wins against Yuta.
Yeah, and if anything, again, they'll be fine, and it's a great way to promote Kota Ibushi. And not only that, you can also do like a little bit of a beef with Hangman and Eddie Kingston that could kind of make the match a little more interesting. Seeing how's like, I'm pretty sure they
Eddie
had like,
kind of beefs with everyone.
yeah, I mean, wait, would he would be still part of ROH, right? Because he's not
Well,
signed with
Yes,
AEW, right?
well,
Currently.
think about it though. I'm kind of combining some of the ROH stuff into this crossover already.
yes. And even Shibata, who is the pure champion right now.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is kind of an ROH match in a way.
Gotcha. Well, either way, I'm okay with this outcome. It's gonna be cool.
Now, match number 6. This one is definitely more of an unlikely match to happen, and this is a very all over the place, unrealistic match. So if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I just thought it was a fun idea in my head. So last year there was the Bullet Club, Young Bucks, and El Phantasmo. I figure what could top that? El Phantasmo kind of got kicked out of the Bullet Club, but what if Hardys and Young Bucks squashed their beef and teamed for one night only? Got El Phantasmo from New Japan, and they became the Extreme Club for one night only. And they'd be going against 3 members of Chaos and Okada. Tanahashi's not really a member of Chaos, but he's been his tag partner recently, so I kind of count it. And then Orange Cassidy, another member of Chaos. And add Jungle Hook to the mix. And that's also like the other team. That's combining 2 teams and making them one team for one night only. So out of the 2 babyface teams, the winners will be Chaos and Jungle Hook, with Okada scoring the pin for his team, and he pins El Phantasmo. Listen, man, we can't book Okada in the main event, of course. You know, we can't have him fight for the IWGP Heavyweight title. I'm not doing it, but he should look strong. He is still like, you know, the John Cena of New Japan. You know, we got to still make him feel that way, even without the title. So, you know, that's not me saying he needs to be number 1. That's not me saying that at all. What I'm saying is still make him look strong, so whenever he does loses, it matters.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly fine with me. I like the match. Some thing is that El Phantasmo thing, but it's just gonna be a one-time only thing. It's not gonna be involving any of the big things happening with the Bullet Club with El Phantasmo. So I think it's perfectly fine with me. And I'd rather see the Extreme win this to me, but it's for mainly it's Okada there because of that. So I'm okay with that, letting Okada win for today.
And also the Ace, because the Ace lost last year. He's another big name, and I don't think it'd be fair to make him lose 2 years in a row. And then, you know, Hook is also a strong name who's undefeated. It'd be kind of dumb for him to lose in a match like that. So that's my other reasons.
Yeah, and again, it's perfectly cool with me because literally you have Okada in here, you have Tanahashi or no, I'm saying it wrong, aren't I?
No, you actually got it right.
Oh, okay, cool. And then you also with Okada pin El Phantasmo, there we go. At least it'll be a clean victory, and then they can finally say the New Japan guys are getting like wins, so people can't bitch and complain. That's like AEW just fucking buried the New Japan people.
Yep, that
again.
too. That too. That too. Yeah, that's another reason. Because so far, it's been a very AEW dominant win cycle, if you haven't noticed.
Just a little bit.
So yeah, that'd be like the first instance of where a New Japan guy finally gets to shine a little bit. Now, we get to match 7. This match I can actually see happening more than the other one we just mentioned. I have a concept tour. A retirement tour. And the tour would be about Sting fixing old foes from back then he never got the fight, or faces that are new and younger today that he never might be able to fight in the future. That's about getting all those three things done in 12 matches, and the tour would start at Forbidden Door and it would end at Winter is Coming. So from June to December. And this would be the very first match in the retirement tour. When I said old foes, that refers to Jeff Jarrett. When I said foes from the past that he never got to face, that refers to Chris Jericho. When it refers to new faces, that refers to Sammy and Daniel. So think about it. Everyone except Minoru Suzuki, he has a reason to fight. And Suzuki can kind of belong in the Jericho camp if you think about it, as a foe that has been around for a long time that he never got to fight. So it makes sense for Sting. And then with the beef going on with Jericho and Adam Cole, I hear Kyle is close to recovery. I don't know how close, but if he can make this, this would be wonderful. I would have the Undisputed Era reunion in this match as well. So that'd be the other thing. Kyle's first match back, and it'd be the band back together, Adam, Kyle, and Strong, because Bobby is not necessary. So who is the fifth man on that team? The Stone Pitbull Tomohiro Ishii, the only man who could strike even harder, as Minoru Suzuki. So this is the match. Undisputed Era, Sting and Tomohiro on one team. Jericho, Sammy Guevara, Daniel Garcia, Jeff Jarrett, and Minoru Suzuki on the other team. And usually I don't book Jeff Jarrett in high-profile matches, but for this case, it actually would make a lot of sense. This would be the match where Daniel Garcia finally turns babyface and turns on Chris Jericho. And how would that happen? So, yes, the Jericho Appreciation Society would have trouble dealing with the Undisputed Era. I would hope that Adam Cole would defeat Jericho at Double or Nothing, and I think that's going to happen anyways. So that's what I would book. And then I'll do this second match here to end the feud between Cole and Jericho and start a new feud between Garcia and Jericho. And what makes Garcia so pissed off? Jericho bringing in Jeff Jarrett, because, Garcia is like the true wrestler. And, Jericho's all about the sports entertainer. If you think about sports entertainers, Jeff Jarrett is one of those people that is the absolute closest to that sports entertainer spectrum, if you think about it. Because he grew up, not grew up, when he was growing up in the business, I should say, he was doing it in WCW. He was doing it in the Attitude Era. He was doing it during these times that were primarily involved with sports entertainment. So, have him with his guitar annoy the fuck out of Daniel Garcia, get into arguments with Daniel Garcia, and I think it'd be very entertaining. While you have him also beef with Sting. And, this would be the way of not having them do a one-on-one match, because let's be real, we don't need a Sting versus Jeff Jarrett pay-per-view match.
Why not?
This would make more sense. I mean,
they're like the same age.
It just wouldn't make
What do
sense
you
to
mean?
book if you did it one-on-one now, because it's like, that match has been booked so many times one-on-one in the past. Why don't you do something new and creative and innovative? And, what else can they really do now, and as they're both over 50 years old?
It would be the funniest thing to witness live. Seeing two
So,
50-year-old dudes
you'll
beating
still
the
get
shit out
that.
of
You'll
each
still
other.
get them fighting in the ring here.
No, it's not the same. It's not the
But
same.
think about it. It's an even better match because you got hella talented people in there. And it would be a great story with a great face turn. And yeah, the winners would be Team Undisputed Era in Sting and Ishii. And Sting would get the pin over Jeff Jarrett. So, what do you guys think about that match?
To me, it sounds fun. I know Jeff Jarrett is not our favorite person, but I think to me the biggest thing in this match is the Undisputed Era comeback tour. Pretty much, I would say too. And it's happy. I would love to see that too. It makes perfect sense to have that against Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, Daniel Garcia, and the Minoru Suzuki would make some sense too. So I think I'm happy with this, and I'm happy to see the Undisputed Era come back.
Yeah, I'm happy with it too. But you know, even more sweeter, guys. If it cuts to
The
like,
one on one.
well, that too. But if Bobby Fish was there and the camera just cuts to him, and it just stares at him menacingly, just seeing this man get destroyed even more than he is already. That would make this match a 10 out of 10.
Fair enough. Now, match number 8. I don't even need to go in depth for it. I'll let these two do it. AEW Championship match. FTR versus Aussie Open.
Yeah, that's going to kill. That's probably one of the best matches of the night. 100%. There's no doubt in my mind to see that as the best match of the night. It's going to be super awesome to see. There's nothing else I got to say about that match.
Yeah, same here. And it's a smart thing too that you booked it where Aussie doesn't put their titles up for grabs too, because that would just be too much power for FTR in my opinion. You can't necessarily bury Aussie open just yet. They're
Yeah,
still.
let them keep their titles and let FTR keep their titles. So let them just fight for the AEW.
Mm-hmm.
So we can still get the match and no one really gets hurt.
Yeah.
Now, match 9. We get to the 3 main events. Are you guys ready?
No.
Okay.
Dude.
All right. Thank you, Burton. IWGP Heavyweight Championship match. Sonata defending against Evil, Bryan Danielson, and Zack Sabre Jr. Now, I know what some people are thinking. What about Bryan versus Zack at Canada? Here's the thing. Neither of these guys are from Canada. If we wait till the UK stadium, you know who is from the UK? Zack Sabre Jr. So there actually will be more people in that stadium, and there will be a hometown crowd advantage for Zack Sabre Jr., while the other guy, Bryan Danielson, is an already somewhat decently known name for people who are not even wrestling fans. So it's a thing to save it for the stadium. But to give people that idea, the tease of it, throw these two in a fatal 4-way with Sonata and Sonata's former tag team partner, Evil. And basically, it would be Evil trying to chase what Sonata has now. And, you know, they used to be best friends. So you can also include a lot of stuff within that. But it would be a good fatal 4-way to where Sonata could win and be a strong, good victory for Sonata in his title reign. And having, you know, 3 of the names in his title reign be Evil, Bryan, and Zack would be a good way to boost credibility for that title reign. And, you know, it's not announced who he's fighting at Dominion, but I do know the pay-per-view before he's fighting Takahashi. At Dominion, I would hope he beats Naito because it'll have something to do with the next match I have.
Yeah, I think that'll be fun. I do hope that this match, this IWGP match sounds very fun, and I do hope that during Sonata's reign, it's just gonna be a singles match with Sonata versus Evil, because they used to be tag team partners, and that's very fun to have it just a singles match of him during his title reign, because that'll be fun to see. And
Yeah,
it's
we could.
true, I do not know. You should, sorry.
No, it's all good. I was thinking we could probably do that title match in like July and August. So that would be my point. We do this fatal 4-way so all 4 of these guys can be in the ring this one time. And then on later dates, we get those one-on-one matches for both of them.
Yeah, and for the other things, I really do not know that much about the Minion. It's pretty much right now. It looks like Sonata is pretty much just targeting Lij, so it's either going to be Naito or could be Shingo. It's possible with those 2 ideas in my head, but I'm not complete. But Naito makes more sense, but because he technically already beat him already,
Yeah.
it's
I think it'll
someone
be
else.
Naito.
It'd be fun. I think still it'd be a great match. Doesn't matter to me, both of the matches, but from this match in general, I'm happy. This sounds like a great match to watch if this comes true, and definitely 100% liking Sonata in this moment, and I can't wait to see him win.
I'm surprised you have Evil Uno in this match, Daniel. Daniel.
That joke sucked.
Yeah,
Oh, I thought it was funny for you.
You,
Well, you didn't
yeah.
say. You just said Evil. I just assumed Uno, man.
You don't know Evil as the wrestler. That's big sad. But
Yeah,
it's okay.
he's in the dark.
No,
He's
he's
in.
not.
He
he's in the House of Torture. You just search him up, you'll find him.
he was with Johnny Hungy. He's cool.
Well, next match.
Maybe.
AEW Championship match, the 10th match. Darby Allin versus Naito. So Naito would face Sonata at Dominion in my booking, and he would lose. And basically, he would be on a rage. Like, if I can't have the IWGP Championship, then I'll take the AEW Championship. And basically, the first target on Darby Allin's back, as soon as he wins it at Double or Nothing, is Naito. And Naito would do everything he can. And think about it, with Naito's aggressive nature and Darby's absolute ability to sell pain and just absorb pain, you could have a great match with Naito and Darby here, where Darby has to basically scratch and crawl tooth and nail to get that victory against Naito.
Yeah, for me, that would be so much fun to watch myself. I think it would be super interesting to see, and I can't wait. And I'm happy to see that you put Darby as the winner, who's actually holding the championship. That's on a personal note. I like that. So Darby versus Naito is very interesting. And another funny thing is that technically Darby Allin has a very similar move to Naito's finisher as the Decina. That weird backwards stunner. It's very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar. So they could do some really crazy crap with those two, with like using two different using counters, going two different things. So I think that's a great match to put in there. For me.
Yeah, and also too in your booking, it would seem that Darby Allin would be like on a winning hot streak, and you combine that with like the amazingness of Naito, you just literally have like one hell of a banger on your hands. But I'm wondering if there's gonna be some like interference with MJF during this time, assuming if he's even gonna be at this event, or maybe Sammy or some other crap.
So you know how he wasn't there last year?
Mm-hmm.
This is a partial truth. A part of the reason the pipe bomb happened and he disappeared for a couple months is because he wanted nothing to do with Forbidden Door. So if he disappears again for like 1 or 2 months during this Forbidden Door stuff, don't be surprised. It's why I actually didn't book him at all on this show.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, maybe he'll make an interference with Darby, and that's how you get him to feud again with Darby, eventually losing the title to MJF.
Maybe. I just think he just doesn't want to appear at the show at all. I just really don't.
Yeah, maybe he just doesn't care for the Japanese talent, which is a pretty good possibility.
It is. He probably just cares about WWE and AEW, and that's it.
That's messed up, man.
Well, I get where he's coming from, though. In America, those are the only two companies that kind of have that major mainstream value, in a way.
They have no love for Impact.
I mean, Impact has some fans, but do a lot of people like... Yeah. Like, Impact has some fans, but I wouldn't say it's like a global company like WWE and AEW are.
It used to be.
It used to be, exactly.
Not
yes,
anymore.
that is very true. That is very true. So, now the main event. Correcting the mistake New Japan Pro Wrestling did at Wrestle Kingdom 17. For the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, United States Championship, Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay 2. So, you know how Kenny Omega went into Will Ospreay's home, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and took his title? Yeah. You know how Forbidden Door is in Kenny's home, technically, in his hometown? So what if we flipped it, and this time Will Ospreay won?
To me, that sounds awesome, and I think I'm always up to watch this match, because first match was amazing. Second match is going to be the same thing. Amazing, probably better for this thing. So for me, I'm perfectly fine to see Ospreay win that title.
Yeah, and then also too, again, this will be like a great chapter for Will Ospreay, because he did mention like on Twitter that his New Japan contract was like gonna end pretty soon. So maybe after he has like a little run as the United States champion or what have you, he can go back to AEW or whatever company he chooses. Hopefully AEW, and he can continue this beefing with Kenny.
That's
Omega.
Your way of saying don't choose WWE.
No.
Because I'm going to be honest with you, I think Will's going to WWE after this year.
No. I'm not having this man go to a mid-ass WWE.
No. Do you want me to tell you why? Do you want me to tell you the real reason why?
Why?
AEW's been around for 4 years. There was one point in time his contract apparently expired and he resigned in New Japan. Don't you think if he wanted to be in AEW, it would have already happened by now? His wife is wrestling in America. Why isn't he?
Because he's
And his wife's
British.
also in WWE, not AEW. Why would he go to the company his wife is not in?
What's his wife's name? Let's see if she's even any
Blair
good.
Davenport.
Who?
Oh,
Blair Davenport.
Blair Davenport. Wow.
How the hell do you spell that? Whatever.
It's okay. I guess
Whatever.
I'll type it in the chat.
I'll look it up later. It's fine. It's fine.
That's easy to. She used to be the NXT UK. I didn't know that. Mostly, that's a good thing to know. I haven't seen her in NXT for a good while.
Yeah.
Listen, man. Point being, if he goes to WWE, he better go to NXT to fight Carmelo or Wesley.
Carmelo or Wesley.
Or he goes up to that new title.
Sounds good.
Oh, never mind. They split in 2021.
See? So why the hell would you want to go see his ex?
All right. I have another thing though.
No. You're done.
How come? Again, my point still kind of stands though. If AEW's been around for 4 years and he's never signed to them, it's just interesting. But we'll see.
Maybe because he likes.
Will Ospreay? Wait, what?
I say maybe he likes the little bit of the outside international stuff better.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say I want to see Will Ospreay more in WWE. I'm kind of open to wherever he goes because it's Will Ospreay, and I know wherever he goes, he's gonna kill it. So it kind of don't matter to me.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say. What about you guys on that?
Nah, that's it.
All right.
Yeah.
So that was Forbidden Door 2, ladies and gentlemen. What do you guys think about the card?
Sounds great.
Yeah, I have no complaints. It's written correctly, and it doesn't bury too many of the New Japan stars, and you also give like concluding stories and possible new ones, depending if there's like any interferences with any of the matches. So it's well written. I enjoy it,
All
except
right,
for Jeff Jarrett.
Except for him getting pinned, I assume.
Gross.
All right. Well, that's Forbidden Door 2. If you guys want to watch part 2 of this video, we'll be talking about All In, and then we'll be talking about All Out in part 3. Thank you all for watching.